Let's talk a little bit about running back in the situation that was reports today that Amarian Hampton took to the podium, confirmed that he also talked with the Denver Broncos. And here's the thing that I saw on the internet today that made me go, has the ship sailed, or is Sean Payton playing the game that Sean loves to play? I want to know what you learned about Ashton Jeanty talking to him today, but I saw it from Mike Kliss that Sean Payton didn't even show up for the Ashton Jeanty meeting. So does that mean Sean Payton knows he won't be there at 20? Or, like I said, the other side of that is Sean Payton just starting to play the game a little bit to try to throw off the Broncos' scent for the other 31 NFL teams?
Well, I'll get you the audio because that was off of my question. So, Kev, I don't know if anyone has the audio out there, but I'll send it to you if we don't have it readily accessible. Because Chris Thomason, our guy from the Denver Gazette, he's like,
CT.
you know, have you met with the Broncos? And are you gonna fall that far? I was like, only Chris. If you know Chris Thomason, he is the real one.
He don't give a damn, dude.
Right. Like Tupac and Biggie when they did that song, The Realist.
Yeah.
We're the realist. It was actually about Chris Thomason. He didn't know it at the time as he was covering the Denver Nuggets. But Chris just asked, like, are you going to fall that far? And Ashton was like, well, you know.
He said, I hope not, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I asked, like, well, how was it meeting with Sean Payton? And he said, actually, Coach Payton wasn't there. I met with their running backs coach, and we went over the film. We studied this, talked about my play style. And then I'll show you the vid all up in the videos. Ashton looks at me with this little sly kind of smile, and he goes, oh, we also talked about their need at running back. And I just gave you, I don't know if you can see him on camera, Dover, but I just gave him the square biz kind of look, like eyebrow raised, like, yes. So I already had a shared moment with Ashton Jeanty, number one running back in this draft class. There is no doubt. There is no question. And the perfect joker. There's other joker options. Amarian Hampton's one. We'll put a pin in that, get to him a little bit. But it's Ashton Jeanty. You want the perfect joker, you get the Boise State running back. It's clear cut. No doubt, no question. Others, yes. But the best one is him. And that's Ashton Jeanty. Can you find a way? Dallas, I believe, had not yet met with him. Again, I'm running the interview back in my head right now, so I'll make sure that's correct. But and again, they could meet with him tonight, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe they could be throwing off playing the games of like, okay, how about this or that, or let's not really show our hand. Well, everyone knows you need a running back, Dallas, unless you bring back Rico Dowdle, which they might bring back. Rico Dowdle is coming off a 1,000-yard season, but they need a running back. The Broncos have that need, and Ashton talked to him about it. So it's kind of, it's interesting when you sit down with someone that you'd like to draft and you're like, hey, we could really use a guy like you, because they could.
I just thought it was interesting of like, and then why didn't Sean go? Does Sean have something else that was too important to talk to Ashton Jeanty? Or to me, it kind of screams that he knows that it's not going to happen because of how good Ashton Jeanty is, unless you go and trade up. And the earliest we've seen was 16 with Arizona. I think you've said it, and I agree with you on this. I don't know that he's getting out of the top 10, and if he does, it's 12, and then that's all she wrote right there with the Dallas Cowboys. And then if you're Ashton Jeanty, I don't think he really gives a damn, right? Because he knows he's going to find an NFL home, and he's going to have a 5-year contract that's probably going to pay him more money than anything else that he could do.
Right.
But if you're him and you go, you know what? If I went to a job interview and the main boss wasn't there, I'd go, you guys just want to end this? Because obviously there's no point in me being here.
Yeah, it's interesting, but what do we know about Sean Payton? Does he do anything that's not on purpose? Has Sean Payton ever done anything unintentionally?
Not
Yes
that
or
I
no?
know of, no.
Everything he does is with intent. So I think the question we should be asking, and I'm not saying this for you, brother. It's not like you're shaking your fist with faux outrage. I'm offended.
No.
But everyone out there, if this upsets you, get offended as you like, because here's the real deal. We need to ask, why would he not be there? Is it to show a lesser interest for others so that they, not nose around? It's like the Bo Nix thing. He went on and on to my question about J.J. McCarthy, and I thought I broke him. I thought I broke the code. I was taking victory laps, and now it's stumbling down the pyramid. But, I was taking victory laps last year at the owners' meetings because he said, I'm not going to tell you about, who we've worked out. And then on my question, he's like, man, JJ was so good. So is this the opposite of that, where he doesn't want teams to know? So he's just kind of like hanging back or whatever. Now, I did, and I'll ask my buddy this, and I'll tell you who it was. Matt Harmon, Yahoo Sports.
Yeah. Saw
him as I was leaving, and Matt is kind of my son. Matt's kind of he's in my coaching tree, if you will, as a fantasy analyst and as a football analyst, and he's one of the best in the nation. So he's far surpassed the father, right? So I love Matt. He's a dear friend. When I talked to Matt, and we both like Ashton Jeanty for the Broncos, he said that he had heard Sean Payton was licking his chops.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, all right, who would not like Ashton Jeanty? That's my thing.
Yeah,
So,
you're right about
I'm glad that Matt shared that information with me. I'm glad to be able to share that information with you guys out there. But at the same time, I go, well, I'm licking my chop. We're licking the chop. Everyone look at, I got the chapstick, girl, not because of the dry altitude in Colorado, but because, my God, you're licking your lips so much over the prospects of this perfect joker coming to the Mile High City. So why wasn't Sean there? That's our question. What's your answer? 303-713-1043 is that ramoslaw.com text line, because I don't think he would do anything unintentionally. He's not there. And maybe he thinks it wouldn't get out there that he wasn't there. Maybe. But again, Sean thinks of everything, or at least he'll tell you he thinks of everything because he discovered electricity. So
he knew
confused.
that the local people were going to ask him about, or ask Ashton about the meeting.
But usually, and I kind of got sick of it today, I stand at a podium for 3 hours. Oh, my God. So I was standing at the same podium for 3 hours because it was a podium where Shedeur was at, and Omarion talked while Ashton talked. So I did not leave. I talked to Travion Henderson, talked to Ashton Jeanty. Others we're going to get to, Quinshon Judkins. Others we're going to get to in a little bit. Yes, Judkins. But it's like, you get the, did you talk to the Bengals? Did you talk to the Bears? You don't get the, did you talk to, except for Steelers reporters were asking about Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin, by the way, was
What do you mean?
there.
They're asking just specifically, did you talk to
They're
the
just
coach?
asking about the team. Did you talk to the Bears? Yeah, I talked to the Bears. They're the only other team besides me that asked specifically about Sean Payton was a Steelers guy that asked about Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin was there. So what does that say? Most people, again, trying to get in Sean's head, it's very dangerous, probably shouldn't do it. It's very ill-advised. But, why wasn't he there? That's a big question, and we just don't have the answer.
I'm speculating. That's all we can do, but I'm speculating that Sean loves himself some time, right? And his time means more than anybody else's time, and he's made that very evident over the last few years. But so to me, that wasn't worth his time. And if that's the case, he knows that at 20, there isn't a big opportunity for them to land Ashton Jeanty if they stay put. So that's my speculation from it. But Broncos country, I'd love to hear from it. Cecil and I would love to get your thoughts.